What is up, everybody? It says we're live. I'm sitting right next to an amazing rock star that I admire more than he ever knows, but we'll talk about that later on. And it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday afternoon, cold beverage in hand, which means it's brain break day. Brain break with Brad Hughes. Brad, in just a minute, we're going to have some fun. We're going to probably talk a little bit of serious shop, but mostly have a lot of fun, unwind, relax, and just turn it off for a little while. Are you ready to do this thing, Brad?
You're full of it, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Oh, this is going to be great. So sit back, everybody. We're going to watch a little 50-second promo, and then we'll be back. So in these next 50 seconds, share the link with your friends, your family, your neighbors, the people you love, the people you don't. Get people here, and we'll have a nice little conversation real soon. We'll see you on the other side of the promo. Brad Hughes. How are you, my friend?
Dave, I am great. I'm fired up to be joining you tonight on the Brain Break. I'm a huge Brain Break fan. It's been my
You are the only Brain Break fan, just to be clear. So
one of two. There's only two of us, and I'm
Okay.
one of them, and the other one is currently in the Witness Protection Program and cannot be named. So no,
That's
I've
amazing.
been eager for a chance to connect on Brain Break. I know that a lot of what we do is as Teach Better family members is connect on serious issues around education, great outcomes for kids, great outcomes for teachers. But this is an awesome chance to unwind because, as you probably know, I love getting the gears and giving people the gears too. So I'm here for all of it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Brad, this has actually been in the works now for about a year and a half. So since the moment Brain Break started, it started with just Jeff Gargas and I sitting out back, both of our houses, talking shop, and then he decided to record it one day. I have been thinking, how can I keep this going, but without Jeff Gargas? And how can I do it in a passive aggressive way so that Jeff Gargas doesn't know I just want him out? So this week we sent him on vacation to Florida and said, Jeff, just go have fun with the family. And then I messaged you the moment Jeff said yes, he would go to Florida, and said,
Yeah.
Brad, I need you in.
Oh, man.
And then just to really complicate things, I decided to move from my house in Michigan. Now I'm hanging out at my parents' house just so I'm kind of off the grid and he can't pull the plug on this thing. And we're just going to go. We're just going to have some fun with Jeff doing whatever Jeff does.
Dave, can I get that name again? Was Jeff? Was it? Jeff
Gray Grass, I think it is. Jeff Garg, I don't know. Jeff Garg something. But right now it's Dave and Brad, and that is all that matters, man. It's all that matters. But you know what? We are not alone. We've got some of our amazing friends joining us. We've got Megan joining us. Megan, who has also transplanted herself and is now down having a blast in Nashville. So she's probably joining us from a honky tonk or something. So Megan, say hi to Tim McGraw and Blake Shelton and all the guys for me. Just tell them Dave said hi. They'll know who you're talking about. We got Jillian joining us from the Tampa area in Florida. We got Danielle joining us from over on the left coast.
Holy cow.
We've got so many friends here. We got Brianna joining us from Southern Ohio. We got a bunch of Facebook users. I don't know who the Facebook users are because I'm too lazy to step a second monitor.
They're in the Witness Protection Program because they cannot be named. They're among there's me and there are multiple Facebook users, but it's actually one person who keeps logging in over and over again because they're trying to hide their identity.
Well played. Well, I don't really blame them whatsoever. If I would probably hide my identity if I said that I was logging into a Brain Break on a Wednesday afternoon as well. So we've got Adam, who I'm assuming is joining us from a golf course somewhere, somehow, or the 19th tee. So that's awesome. And then, like I said, we've got the one and only because you are the one and only Brad Hughes on the entire planet Earth. I've Googled it. You're the only one.
Yeah.
Brad, thanks for joining us, man.
So excited to be here. I just want to say hi, Jillian Dubois, and boy, you've got a lot of nerve calling us naughty. I'm just going to put that out there to the world. I mean, that's the pot calling the kettle black. David, this is fantastic. I just love connecting. I mean, the chance to sit here and to share space with you. I mean, we could talk about anything all day. So, and just sharing space with the Teach Better family as well, chiming in. I'm just feeling the love. I love it.
Well, you're surrounded by a lot of mastermind friends, a lot of ambassador friends that know you, and they know you so well that they're asking some very serious questions. Like, they want to know where your tiara is.
Well, yeah,
Brad, I'm curious about that.
As our Teach Better family might know on Voxer, I had a slight tiara mishap. So just I'll cut a long story short. You know, as a new Teach Better ambassador this year, I received a welcome package, as I know all of our ambassadors did, containing the coveted Teach Better sash, which actually I've just pressed it. It's hanging upstairs right now, and the Teach Better tiara. Now, some people say tiara, but you know, I'm a little bit more couth than that.
Is there a U in tiara up in Canada? Is it
there is not.
No, there's not
actually, there are three. It's TAUAUURA. Tiara.
It is such an honor to hear you say that too.
It sure is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what that's all about. But anyway, I had a little tiara mess up. Up in the top right corner of everyone's screen, you've got the Teach Better diamond there. And so as all of the ambassadors know, the tiara comes adorned with a crown jewel, the Teach Better diamond. And in a moment of educational and Teach Better team fervor, the diamond popped out, and I haven't been able to locate the diamond. I can't put it on in good conscience without the Teach Better diamond. And Jeff Gargas refuses to stock the Teach Better swag store with the diamond. He who shall not be named.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry. But anyway, so I want to thank you for your interest in the Teach Better tiara, but it unfortunately, and until it's repaired, I cannot adequately or appropriately represent the Teach Better family, nor the ambassadors without the Teach Better diamond. It's just not happening.
It makes sense. Yeah. I appreciate you keeping it hidden right now, because there are a couple of people that are extremely jealous right now, because this must have been an issue with, I know there was some ambassador swag issues. Yeah. So maybe yours was just defective, and maybe they put a pause on the shipments, because I see some people that haven't necessarily gotten theirs yet. So that's okay. They're in the mail. They're in transit. Brad, I don't know if you're aware of this fact, but you know that I was an ambassador for about 2 weeks before Megan and Andrea said that's not happening anymore, and they pulled the plug. True story. I was an ambassador. I became an ambassador before like ambassador applications were a thing. Yeah. And then they kind of just grandfathered me in, because at that point it was awkward to say, sorry, Dave, you didn't make the cut. And then they came in and said, no, Dave, you can't be an ambassador. You kind of do the brain break thing already. So exit stage left. We're going to bring somebody else in. And now you're here, Brad. I don't know what that means for your ambassador status.
It's not looking good. Not looking good. And actually, my reputation precedes me. I think that I'm on Jillian Dubois said the naughty list. I think I'm already on the naughty list. And I think that, pulling the problem is, if someone pulls the plug on my ambassadorship, I'm just going to try to plug myself in somewhere else. And so I just want to put that out there to everybody. Is that I'm a Teach Better family member for life. And I just want to I want to improve lives, Dave. I want to improve lives through laughter, love, and Teach Better togetherness.
You're kind of like that fun uncle in the Teach Better family. You know that uncle that your parents warn you about before you go to the family reunions? They say, don't spend too much time hanging out with Uncle Brad.
No way.
And then you do, because you're just a blast. You're shooting guns, and
then you're hearing from your brother and sister-in-law, because what did you teach your nephew? Right, exactly. And that's actually not far off. I'm a beloved uncle to a niece and nephew, and I'm sure my brother and sister-in-law have the same point of view. It's like, oh, watch out for Uncle Brad.
You're the funkle. I love it. Yeah. Now, Bree here, I'm concerned, because Bree said she hasn't gotten kicked out yet, because the message I got it happened to everybody.
That's what I thought too.
And then they also do the whole "it's not you, it's me" thing. So now I'm really concerned.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's another question. How do you spell funkle? If you are the funkle.
Okay, so is that the American or Canadian spelling?
I don't know, because I'll go funkle, funkle, and they both look right.
So
I don't know.
To me, they both look wrong. It looks like a word that should never be written or spoken aloud.
Like Jeff Vargas, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But yeah, so in Canada, Funko has 2 extra E's. And it has an E with an accent,
and nothing is ever. There's no silence, right?
It's Funclier. It's Funclier. So it's Funkle, accent aigu, Funclier. Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to say that next time I stub my toe.
Funclier. and you'll get people's attention. Like you'll be at McDonald's or whatever. You'll get people, what did you say? I said Funkle in French, or it's Canadian for Funkle. You can't be held responsible for that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think just for the record, I think we're both going to be fired. I think next week my ambassador status might come back because I don't think I'm going to be allowed back on Brain Break.
I'm not sure either of us had a job here to begin with. I mean, honestly, I was just surfing the webs. I just happened upon this open tab. It said, come on in, StreamYard, teach better Brain Break, Dave Schmitto. I seemed familiar, so I just clicked on that. Here I am. It could happen to anybody. It could happen to you, dear listeners. It could happen to you. You could wander into the Brain Break and just, this is your moment in the spotlight with Dave Schmitto.
So, yeah, if anybody's looking for this kind of spotlight, run from the light, Carol Ann. Do not follow the light. Oh, that's amazing. All right, so Brad, the Funclier of the Teach Better family. Aside from being the Funclier of the, and I don't think I can do that without doing this with my hand either. Now the Funclier,
yeah, that is me, the Funclier. That's
Funclier. Oh. So, aside from being the Funclier of the crew, who else are you, man? You're hanging out in Canada, doing Canadian things. So, sweeping ice, and what else do you do besides sweep ice and run around eating Tim Hortons Timbits and stuff like that? What else do you do?
Yep, everything. So in my backyard, I've got 7 maple trees, which I tap every season for sap. The running of the sap was this spring, Dave, and so
I do appreciate you taking off your plaid just to be here for today.
I hear an alarm going off. Okay, no, it's okay. I've got time. My sap has come to a boil. And so my maple syrup is ready to be taken off the burner. But living in Ontario, Canada, it's an amazing place to live, work, and raise a family. Feel very grateful for all the opportunities here. In my life, I've got lots of different roles. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. My kids are 19 and 20. They both attend university here in city of Waterloo in Ontario. I am a school principal, elementary principal from kindergarten to 6th grade, and I am saying goodbye to my 25th year of education, and higher mathematics would indicate that next year is hold on, I got to carry a 26th year of education coming up. So it's been amazing.
You totally just Americanized everything you just said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said kindergarten through 6th grade. You didn't say grade 6. You said 6th grade, Brad.
That was on purpose because I know my Teach Better family is predominantly from the U.S. And so I want to make sure that I'm approachable and that people don't have to translate Canadian grade 6 to American 6th grade. I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
The exchange rate is extremely difficult for us to work through, whether it's metric to whatever we do, or Canadian to whatever we do with dollars and cents. I don't even know. So I appreciate that. We like it when you cater to us because although we know that your way is probably the right way, we're kind of stubborn here. So thank you for that.
What makes it even more challenging, Dave, is as you may know, we have a big chain of stores here in Canada called Canadian Tire. So in addition to tires, Canadian Tire also sells a lot of different household products, outdoor stuff, sports. It's like Hockey Central for your skates and hockey equipment. And there is literally Canadian Tire money. So
hold on, are you being serious right now? Like, I don't know if this is a bread.
Okay, so this is the real deal. So back in the day, you used to get about I think 5% of your total purchase back in Canadian Tire money, which had the look and feel of real money. It was actually produced by a mint. It was minted here or printed, like currency. And so it was like a coupon. It's like a rebate you could use at your next visit. And so, families would have stacks and stacks of Canadian Tire money. I'll bring one to our next brain break so I can show you. So over the years, Canadian Tire
You're fooling yourself, buddy. We are not being invited back for another brain break. How about when you and I just hang out together on the side? You show me, because
I'm putting it out here. I'm putting it out there in the universe. Okay. We are coming back for brain break, but now Canadian Tire has gone to sort of an online. But anyway, basically, it's on your card. But yeah, so there's the Canadian currency. There's the loonie, which is the dollar coin. There's the toonie, which is the $2 coin. We have 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, $500 bills, and of course we've got the Canadian Tire money, and the denominations are down to 5 cents. So yeah, I'll bring my Canadian Tire money next time.
So what I'm hearing, besides, yes, Carly, you're absolutely correct. Brad needs to be on every week. What I'm hearing from you is that Canadians actually invented cryptocurrency too. You had this fake money before fake money was cool, and then they took the fake money and put it online before it was cool, and before Elon Musk and company decided to start taking credit for it. Is that what you're telling me?
100%. I'd encourage any of our viewers and listeners to Google Canadian Tire money and just do an image search. You'll see, and it's anointed. Is that the right word? It features. It looks like a little Scottish guy with a little tam, and he's got the tartan, and it's just great. I think his name is Scotty or Angus or something like that. But the mascot at that time was Angus.
So just so I'm clear, Canadian Tire sells more than just tires.
It does.
They have their own currency,
correct,
that you can use in Canada.
Yes.
And in Canada they speak English and French, and the mascot is Scottish. Is that what I just wanted to pick up on all that?
That's all sense. Correct. That's all correct.
Okay.
Yep. Huh. There you go.
And we got on this topic because you said you're a school principal. Just so I'm clear, right? I have no idea. You're introing yourself. You're a school principal.
That's right.
Your maple trees were ready, and then we started talking loonies, toonies, and
that's right.
Scottish money. Okay, cool. All right.
I may have to cut things short. I think there's a moose at our front door, so I may have to cut things short if I have to let the moose in. But I'll keep in touch with you.
Fair enough. And for the record, Jeff Gargus, I think that's how you pronounce your name. I wish I could say the same, buddy. Wish I could say the same.
Ouch.
But anyway, so Brad, school principal, father, husband, fan of the Looney, the Toonie, and the Canadian Tire, man of many voices, many talents, all the things. You're just a rock star. I truly think that you are not only the Funkelier of the team, you are the epitome of all things Teach Better. I think you are. I think you just rock it, and you're the man. You're the man we all want to be.
That's a huge compliment, because I'll tell you, I mean, as much as I want to and strive to contribute to the Teach Better family, it's the Teach Better family that energizes me and makes me better. I mean, it's no mistake, and it's no mistake that Teach Better is about that mindset. It's about a little better every day. Some of our Teach Better members, are striving for 1% better, 1% better, 1% better. And I've just been, ever since I came to learn about the Teach Better family through one of our online events about a year ago. I feel sometimes like it's still like a Teach Better newbie, but many of our Teach Better family members know that once you start to get connected with this family, your growth and your connections really accelerate. So it feels like we've known each other for years and years when really we've just become acquainted quite recently.
What was that online event that got you connected?
I can't remember exactly. Actually, I had it pinpointed, and then I forgot what it was. But
the Teach Better team doesn't do a whole lot online, so it should be pretty easy to recall. I mean,
almost nothing online.
Right? Their
is,
presence is so minuscule.
It's such a. It really is. Like the internet footprint of the Teach Better team is like about this big, and in Canadian size is even smaller because of the exchange rate. But it was a live discussion where I showed up looking to find some resources that would help my staff members connect and maintain connections with kids online, because at that time we know the pandemic, school closures, March of 2020. Danielle Ramirez, daily drop-ins, March of 2020, incredible. That is it. Boom.
She knew it.
Danielle, are you the official Teach Better historian? Because if you're not, you should be. I think that should be a position. In addition to
Funkelier liaison.
The Funkelier liaison. Way. That's wonderful. But I'll tell you what has really kept me coming back and kept me energized is this amazing, I call it the secret sauce of the Teach Better team. Like it's service, authenticity, and fun. Everybody shows up to make life better for each other and for the kids we serve. Everything is done with heart and with authenticity. That's the thing is you can really tell when your beliefs and your actions align. That's integrity. That's integral. Everything that I have seen, heard, contributed to, and benefited from with Teach Better Family is it's integrity. It is all of that is aligned. And then you can see with what our Teach Better family members are contributing in their podcasts, in their blogs, in their days of discovery and their online sessions, that's all aligned too. Like everything lines up. It's and I think it was probably Dave and Ray, and it might have been a part of our discussion earlier too, is that the focus is on helping, never selling. And our Teach Better members show up because we know we have each other's back in good times, and there's plenty of good times in education. But this last year and last 18 months through living through the pandemic, it's been no joke. Like people have been struggling, and understandably so. And so that authenticity also serves to reinforce that we're here for each other. Like it's amazing the connections that we've made in these little video boxes and online. I mean, there are so many people. Like I've never met any of our Teach Better family in person. Even our Canadian friends like Che and Pav, we haven't met up in person yet. But I can't wait till we have an opportunity to do that. But Teach Better, I'm here for all of it. Love it.
It's happening soon, man. I feel like there's going to be it's the day that the president and the prime minister come together and say the borders are open. Watch out. It is going to be a one-way stream north or east, depending on where people are, to come see you, Brad Hughes. So be ready. Have that moose get out of the way, because other people will be knocking down your doors to see you.
Yeah. And what I'd advise anybody who's coming north at any time of the year, whether it's, January, March, June, May, August, you want to dress in layers. You want to make sure that you've got either snowshoes or cross-country skis. Pack your polar bear spray, because you just never know when you're going to run into a polar bear. And of course, you want to start packing up, and you want to start collecting your Canadian Tire money, because you want to stop by Canadian Tire and get all of your automotive, sporting goods, outdoors, camping, patio furniture, everything. It's a mecca of shopping awesomeness.
That is so incredible. Well, I'm going to start packing the sea bag right now, because I think it's going to take it's a haul to get up there. Plus the broom to make sure the ice is swept clear for me to get there nice and clear. So
Dave, and I'm not sure if you and family members or friends are familiar with Game of Thrones, and you might know way up in the north in the Game of Thrones universe, there was this huge ice wall that actually I've got one of those surrounding my residence. Because I like my privacy, and I like to make sure that my family is protected. So make sure you've got your crampons and your ice picks, and you can stop by anytime. I mean, you're always welcome to stop by, except when you're not, and you just never know when that is.
Nikki has a good question. She wants to know: does grizzly bear spray work on grizzly bear? Does grizzly bear spray work on polar bears? Great question.
Have to ask a grizzly bear. I'm not sure. My only reckoning with a polar bear has gratefully been at a zoo, and so spray was not necessary at that time. However, the Coca-Cola polar bears have been unaccounted for several years, and apparently they are roaming in the wild, and they're especially attracted not to the cans but to the bottles of Coke. So if you're opening a bottle of Coke and you just look around. Look left, check your blind spots, because they could be right behind you going tap, tap, tap. Oh, excuse me. That's my Coke right there.
That's amazing. Michelle, I don't know how many people know, Michelle is actually the Buckeye herself. She's moving to Montana right now. And apparently she's been given the same wisdom. Montana really is the Canada for the state. So makes sense. Now, Brad, I'm going to take us on a little left turn here. And I hope that people can appreciate this, that I'm going to get us away from the holly jolly laughter for a little bit.
For sure.
I think you can appreciate this pivot, because recently you and I have been talking. You are this amazing guy, this amazing magnetic force in my life. Like truly, anytime I find out that Brad Hughes is anywhere, I am tuning in, logging in. I want to connect with Brad Hughes. Right now, though, there's also this energy, and I don't know if this exists in Canada or not, but here in the States, it seems like there's this energy around education as a whole, where there are a lot of people that are leaving education, causing a vacuum, causing a hole, allowing other people to fill that. I'm assuming that where you are, nobody ever leaves your school. Once they find their way there, they're just locked in. Or in the off chance somebody has worked in your schools for 50 or 60 years and they're forced to retire, I can almost imagine it's like a mecca where people are just flooding your school to get in. And you probably had to scrutinize and walk through and look through thousands of applications for people when they're trying to apply to work with the one and only Brad Hughes. So the interview process to work with Brad Hughes must be intense. And you and I have talked quite a bit lately about interviewing and how important it is, and some of the major components that people need to incorporate into their interviews. And we've had a lot of amazing conversations about that. I know you've written blogs about this, and it's one of your passions right now, is this whole interviewing experience. I know it's a big left turn from where we were just going, but I think it's important right now. There are some people that are probably watching or listening to the replay of this that are going through some of those experiences right now, and they might not be able to cross the border to Canada to work with Brad Hughes, although they would if they could. They might be interviewing with Joe Schmo down the street or in a new district or a new school. What is some Brad Hughes wisdom that you would give? Not to necessarily turn people into Brad Hughes, because that'll just leave everybody disappointed, because nobody can ever do it. But if people wanted to be able to get a job with Brad Hughes, or somebody like Brad Hughes, or just a school that's as amazing as your school, what advice do you have for people?
Dave, teacher candidates and people applying to education positions, it is tough, because it's nearly 100% vulnerability. You're putting yourself in a position of vulnerability, and you need to extend trust to the people that are interviewing you and considering you for a position. And it's never easy to do. I've often said that education is among the most personal of professions. And so when you're in an opportunity where you are putting yourself out there to say, hey, I want to be considered to join your school, to join your team, to join your district, that's accompanied with a cover letter. It's accompanied with a resume. It's accompanied with documentation, maybe some videos, maybe some scrapbooks. And so you've got your life as an educator. You've got your commitment to improving lives for kids in a package, and you're giving it over to somebody for review and ultimately for judgment. It's a huge amount of pressure. And I'll tell you, I've been involved as a school leader in a number of interview situations where it was more like it was an endurance. It was testing the endurance of the candidate, really, rather than an opportunity to get to know the candidate in an authentic, heartfelt, heart-led way. It was, we have to see if these candidates can stand up to the rigor of our interview process. And so maybe some of our viewers and listeners have been involved in interviews where, for example, they're asked a question and there's a timer on the desk, and so you have to answer within a certain amount of time, or you're asked a question and the interviewers sit stone-faced because they've been advised not to give any feedback or any kind of prompting, because they have to remain, so in quotation marks, they have to remain true to the process, so that the interview is identical in scope and identical in content to everyone. And that's so unsettling. And what I want candidates to know when I want candidates to know what I believe, and I'm hoping that I can work with other school leaders and even sort of on district levels to really understand that as school leaders, it's our responsibility to make sure that we're creating conditions where teacher candidates can present themselves at their best, so that we have a real authentic look at what they could provide, what value they could add to the school community. Interviewing should not be an endurance test to be run. It shouldn't be, I think of like American Gladiators, where you're trying to get from point A to point B and people are whacking you with sticks, and you got crocodile snapping. It shouldn't be like that. Like it should be an opportunity for me as a school leader leading an interview team to say, hey, welcome. We're glad that you're considering our school. We're here for you. It might feel like you're here for us, but we're here for you. That's not been everyone's experience, but I think it's an experience that all teacher candidates deserve is to feel appreciated for their interest and to know that they're in good hands when they come for an interview.
So many great things I think people are able to relate with. And the thing I take away from this is, man, I love you even more knowing that you're an American Gladiators fan. Nitro was the man back in the day. I mean, he was my idol. So thank you for bringing that back to me. It really hit me in the feels. But aside from that, you talk about authenticity and being real and be able to be transparent. So let's say that I'm going on an interview. Brad Hughes, does the hat stay?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. It's an interesting. I've had other people say, well, you only wear the hat to hide insecurities. So the real you doesn't need a hat. You wear it almost like a facade. But then on that, it's like the emperor with no clothes. So does that mean that no other coverings are necessary? Authentic. Well, where do you draw the line between authentic and professional when you go into an interview?
I think they're one and the same. I think that the questions that we craft for our candidates should allow us a window into their authentic selves. What I tell, one way I set the scene for candidates interviewing with me is I say, I want you to tell us what you really feel and believe, not what you think we want to hear. Because as you're preparing for interviews, it's natural to be coached. Okay, your principals are going to want to hear this. They're going to want to hear about this aspect of practice. They're going to want to hear about these buzzwords, which are really hot right now in the district. As a principal, I know what those buzzwords are. I know what the instructional priorities are. If you're able to communicate that you understand and are aligned with my district's priorities, but can do it in a way that talks about your practice, not about what you think is important. Like you and I, as educators, we have a shared understanding of what is important. So I'd say, don't tell me what you think is important. Tell me how you have acted. Tell me how you have, tell me about your professional life that illustrates what you believe is important. And that's what I want to hear about. And we have to also craft questions that allow candidates not to try to guess about what we want to hear. We want to craft questions and opportunities for us to get to know candidates authentically. I think that we have a good sort of radar for authenticity versus performance. And over time, I've developed a little bit of a radar to, this candidate has been coached to say the right things and to say the right words and the right phrases. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe in them as professionals. And then it's my opportunity to say, hey, if you were the successful candidate to the position, I would love to hear next time more of what you do rather than what you think I want to hear. And again, just coming back to, make sure you're responding in ways that help that interview team know what you've done or what you would, what you intend to do, not simply what you think is important for them to hear.
Yeah, I love that. So when I was in charge of interview teams, and I've literally interviewed hundreds and hundreds of teacher candidates, administrator candidates. A couple of things. Number one is I would always tell the person when I was calling to offer them an interview, and this might come across kind of callous, but I would say, I don't want you to come in prepared with the answers because you've already shown me through your credentials that you deserve an interview. Your resume got you the interview. The interview is all about you. And if you are not a fit, you're not a fit. But if you are a fit, it's you that we want to hear about. It's the interview that gets you it's your resume that gets you the interview. It's you that gets you the job, which can come across and it can hurt somebody when they don't get the job to hear, oh, it's me that got the job. But it's also just an opportunity to say it's nothing that you did. It's not a lack of experience. It's just it wasn't a fit. It's and that is okay. Secondly, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, I would always send people the scripted questions ahead of time and allow them the opportunity to prepare for the scripted questions. But then I would also tell them that we might ask some follow-ups to any of those questions. And I would also tell them that there are only two questions that mattered to me. The first question and the last question. And I had them in order. First question was, who are you? What are you about? What are you passionate about? And the last question was, at the end of every day, how do you know if it's been a good day or a bad day? The rest of the questions, it's the stuff that the committee or the team wanted to hear about. But as the leader of the interview teams, those were the only two things that I cared about. And I had no problem with somebody preparing ahead of time. Go ahead, prep, study. It's not a pop quiz. Study and prep ahead of time. I want to know who you are and how authentic you are in the experience. First of all, what are your thoughts on sharing interview questions ahead of time? And thoughts on you as the principal making decisions versus a collective team? How does that go in a building that Brad Hughes is the principal of?
So in my district, we do not share interview questions ahead of time. But what I do is I provide written questions to the candidates, either online or if we're meeting face to face, so they can follow along and anticipate. And I just giving candidates the opportunity and the reassurance to take your time, to slow down, to give yourself time to think things through. Because interviewing is stressful. Mm-hmm. And when we're stressed, of course, we need more time to gather our thoughts. Anything that we can do as interview teams or as principals to really provide that reassurance, that soft body language, adjusting our tone of voice, soft eyes, a smile, giving some feedback that you're there with them. Something I'd love to experiment with too that I haven't is coming alongside, like physically sitting beside a candidate rather than across from the candidate. I interviewed Craig Randall, who was talking about trust-based observations. Mm-hmm. And he said that his approach that he advocates is when there's an assessor coming into a classroom, you sit beside the teacher rather than across a desk delivering your verdict. And I'm curious about that, because if I come alongside you, we're sharing. I mean, we might be referring to some shared questions, but I'd be interested in experimenting to see what the response is, because typically it's you versus me. There's you and a table, and or sometimes there's you and there's maybe two or three others, which is a huge kind of like you're mm-hmm. outnumbered. You're coming into a situation where like you're entering kind of the den of wolves. So anything that we can do as school leaders to organize a physical space for welcome and for reassurance, I think, again, just helps candidates know what you expect and know that you're in their corner. I have also provided candidates at the beginning of the interview with a scenario that describes so if they're coming in mid-year, for example, I've had teachers interview for long-term occasional assignments where they're replacing, for example, a teacher on leave. And so we sort of give them the lay of the land, like how many kids, what the learning profile of the class is, what the special needs or opportunities are, what the special strengths or gifts of the class are. And so then we say, okay, now that you know a little bit about the class that you would be inheriting if you're the successful candidate, we'd like you to structure your answers accordingly and answer as if you're in the role. So, imagine that you are the teacher hired. What would you do? And we find the feedback that I've received from candidates is that was really helpful, because often you come to an interview and you think you have to answer everything about everything because you don't exactly know what is heading mm-hmm. your way. I find that providing that little bit of a scenario anchors the candidate and allows them to answer in context rather than guess at what we want to hear. We're telling you what the situation is and what our needs are. How can you fulfill those needs?
Yeah, I love that. So when I was getting my doctorate, I actually the focus of my doctorate was in human resources and the studying of hiring. Specifically, what you're just discussing, the fancy term is a realistic job preview. Is you tell people, here's exactly what to expect. Here's the situations. Here's the dynamics. Answer every question through that lens, mm-hmm. as opposed to in hypotheticals or everything in the past tense. Answer them with the prediction of what you would do, knowing your current situation. And research says that works best. Mm-hmm. I love how you answer everything so much more eloquently and gracefully than I do, Brad. I tend to be a bull in a china shop at times and I'm extremely blunt, but I feel like we do a disservice to a lot of educators at times with our practice, where we tell people come in for an interview and it's like we're playing chess with them when we're hitting the clock every time they start a question, because we're either interviewing way too many, we have way too many questions, and we're not caring about the individual and we're just trying to rush them through. You've got 20 minutes, 3 minutes per question, go. And we don't ever get to know people that way. It's truly speed dating as opposed to really getting to know somebody at an intimate level. Or we interview people for a job, not knowing what the job is, and we just leave people in this cryptic fog because we haven't organized things enough, and it causes just a little bit too much confusion on other people's hands. So Brad Hughes, let me just be as direct and candid as I can. I'm interviewing you right now for Brain Break. I want to know, what do you do to fix this thing? How do you right the ship of Brain Break and make it the most dynamic, organized, engaged, phenomenal, professional learning experience possible? Or do you just toss all those dreams aside and say, no, it's just going to be fun. It's going to be characters. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be Brad Hughes. If this were your job, what would you do to make this a safe, productive learning environment for all?
It reminds me something that I want to come back to is you said, interviewing is like speed dating, and for any one position you might interview, say, 5 candidates or 6 or 7, but there's only one position. And so not about the Brain Break, but just back to the, taking care of each other as humans. So whatever space we inhabit, whether it's Brain Break or whether it's my office for an interview or whether it's a teleconference, we want to leave people knowing that they were cared about, that they were respected, and that we believe in them as candidates. And so if I can say yes to one candidate, I'm saying no to others. I want those people that were not successful to know that they were cared about, respected, and that we believe in them. And so as far as fixing Brain Break, I don't think there's anything broken with Brain Break. I don't think Brain Breaks. It comes down to what is the objective. I mean, the objective of Brain Break is to connect, to let off
First of all, this is an amazing point of conversation right now that honestly we've had discussions about for 15 months now. What is the point of Brain Break? So please illuminate us on this. If you've identified the point for Brain Break, Jeff Gargas at 42 minutes and 30 seconds is when I want you to tune in. Brad Hughes says that there's a point to Brain Break. Go.
Is to connect and to leave people feeling uplifted and energized. This is what I see you and Jeff and other guests provide week after week. You're providing a space and you're inviting people to come in and say, hey, we know how hard you're working. We want to spend a little bit of time just connecting, and people leave Brain Break knowing that they're cared about because you've lightened the mood, you've lightened their load, you've involved them in some questions, some context. It's like it's person to person, even though it's moderated by StreamYard, and that's it. I mean, it's knowing what your purpose is and knowing what the purpose of this space is. It's staying true to that, but also we were carrying on and kibitzing about for 20 minutes, and then we were able to shift gears. And people who are here, like people who are here for Brain Break, they're here for all of that. Like they're here for the fun, they're here for the zany questions, they're here for the banter, and they're also here because the people that are on the screen care about their success, and are here for them too.
So Jillian says that it does serve a great purpose, that she listens, she's able to connect, do dinner, all the things, and have a cocktail with us. And Nikki said this has kept her going throughout the year. So Brad, I'm going to dismiss the fact that I'm interviewing you now. Imagine I'm looking to hire one of many characters, whether it's Patrick or SpongeBob or Mickey Mouse. I don't care who I'm trying to hire. I'm just trying to get rid of Gargas. Okay. Bottom line. I don't really, it doesn't really matter who it is. It could be anybody. Truly a cartoon character would be an upgrade right now. What is needed? What is needed on the screen next to me? Or maybe it's you and somebody else. Who should the next co-host of Brain Break be, Brad Hughes?
I love the idea of welcoming a number of different Teach Better family members to the Brain Break. What I know about the Teach Better family, whether it's ambassadors or Facebook group members, or everybody has gifts and talents to offer. And then this space allows people to be themselves. And the better we know each other and the more connected we feel, it just serves to reinforce our great network. And so I'd encourage you to, I don't know, I just encourage you to keep the door open, just like you opened the door to me, to say, hey, you want to stop in and shoot the breeze for an hour? Absolutely. And there's so much talent and there's so much value. This is the thing is our Teach Better family. It's value upon value upon value. And I will say too, not to put too fine a point on it, but it's values as well. I mean, the people that come together for Brain Break are the people that value that opportunity to connect, to be seen, heard, understood. It's permission to be yourselves wherever you are in the moment. The other thing that I love is that you guys we have always been really clear. Come for 5 minutes, come for 15, come for the whole thing. We just love to know that you're checking in. And that's what I've loved too, is that even if I'm not able to make a Brain Break or a mastermind or a Teach Better chat, the fact that I know that I'm always welcome to do so makes me think, okay, even if I can't make it, I'm going to check in with a quick tweet and say, hey, look forward to connecting. Like that's the thing is we're always welcome. Always welcome. And just to bring things back to our discussion around interviewing and what these spaces are. I mean, that we want to leave people feeling, even in a small way, that they've benefited from the experience, that they were welcome, that they were respected, that they were honored, and that they're leaving the space, they're leaving the experience impacted in some way, whether it's with a new way of thinking, a lighter heart, a few laughs, some crazy jokes, any way we can add value to people leaving the space, that's going to make them eager to come back.
Awesome. So in just a second, I'm going to put you on the spot. I should have warned you ahead of time. I want you to pick one of your favorite characters and go into character the next one.
No problem. I don't want to break copyright or anything. Is Mr. Disney around? Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, first of all, if Mr. Disney is watching this, sweet, we will pay the bill. But Jeff Gargas was. That's what he's good for. So feel free to run with that character. You didn't say who it was necessarily, so it's okay. Feel free to run with that character if you want to. I am going to be curious what you're drinking, because I saw you have a little sip a second ago. But I also want you to know, you said you can pop in for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever the case may be. Brad, just for the record, we cancel everything when you're not there. So you might only pop in for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, but that's truly however long you're there is the length of whatever event is, because we know that people are there for you. So it's not happening if you're not there. What typically happens is I see you in a waiting room, so I start letting everybody in. I say, okay, Brad's coming, guys. We can start this. And then when you leave, everybody just kind of stares at each other and we just end it. So just wanted you to know that it really does revolve around you.
And Dave, here in Canada, that's known as the Funkle effect.
Oh my God, the Funkle is going to go down in infinity. So if anybody is wanting some swag, it is going to be the Funkle swag that we get out there first, or the Funkle tiara or tiara. No. Awesome. So Brad or whoever is sitting in that seat right now, what are you drinking right now?
Dave, I'm drinking a kelp shake that I've got at the Krusty Krab, and I work at the Krusty Krab as a fry cook, and my friend Gary, is my assistant, and I've got a really good friend who's a starfish, and he lives under a rock, and we go to the Krusty Krab. This is left field, and it's a brewery in Toronto, and all of their brews are baseball themed. Today I'm enjoying Southpaw.
Love it. I gotta stop real quick because I'm dying inside, knowing that you must obviously watch this show. You must be like a Nickelodeon fanatic or a SpongeBob fanatic. The fact that you know all the characters and their names and the storylines along with it. So Brad, when you're not tuned into like Teach Better stuff, are you just watching SpongeBob? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, pretty much. Those are the only two channels I get are Teach Better Network, TBN, and SpongeBob Network. That's SBN. So
TBN, Teach Better Network. Now we're talking. I kind of feel like that's what YouTube is, though, isn't it? It's just the Teach Better Network. I mean, there's nothing else on YouTube or Facebook. It's just Teach Better.
Right.
All the time.
Right. So. That's right. There's Teach Better all the time, and then there's everything else. Everything that you never knew that you didn't ever want to see. That's what's there.
That's awesome. Your voices, you do that at school, right? You
for sure. Yeah. I'm pardon me. I love our morning announcements. And so lots of different characters will show up for morning announcements. And what I find is I'm able to leverage those voices to reinforce some pretty important things like safety rules, respect, caring, awesomeness. On May the 4th, we have a big Star Wars day, and so all the Star Wars characters come out to the morning announcements. We'll have appearances by Darth Vader, C-3PO, Chewbacca, Yoda. Sometimes the Muppets will turn up. Sometimes some Disney characters. Sometimes the Scooby-Doo gang will be around. And so kids love it, and the adults in the building look forward to hearing it too. My head secretary actually records these character voices, and she shares them with friends and family because she just gets such a kick out of it. So I'm pretty fortunate.
Are you, again, going back to the Funkle, are you like a circus dog on you just do things on command? Like people say, all right, Funkle, give me SpongeBob. Funkle, give me Mickey. Funkle, give me Scooby-Doo. And can you do it like that quickly?
I can.
All right. So let's test you out. Okay. Give us any Scooby-Doo character.
Ruh-roh, Ranky with a roast? Zoink, Scoob. I can take a Scooby snack. Ruh-roh.
That was way better than I thought it was going to be. I'm so sorry.
Braves are what, Brave?
That's so good. Okay. So you did SpongeBob. Can you give us some Patrick?
Who? Can I get that name again, Dave? Who? Oh, Patrick.
What other copyrighted characters from Orlando can you do?
Of course, everyone knows everyone's favorite mouse. My dog Pluto. Here, boy. Pluto. Oh, Mickey. Oh, Minnie. I've only got eyes for you.
Gosh, Mickey.
I'm dying. Sorry, I've got inside. I can't stop. How do you determine that you can do a character? You watch it and you're like, let me just try this out on somebody, and who's your judge to say, yeah, you got that? Is it just all in your head?
It's basically the people I'm interacting with, and sort of the excitement and delight of kids. I've got some sun is beaming.
No, it's your halo. Me. It's your halo. You're fine.
Oh my goodness!
I feel like I'm watching Ghost right now, and now it's all an illusion. Brad Hughes, he's really angelic.
Whoa,
yeah,
what's happening? I'm trying to adjust so there. Anyway. I can stand up to, but back before, this is really weird. Back before becoming
a teacher, you are God in our eyes, Brad. It's totally appropriate.
Everyone, grab your shades. Yeah. So character voices. I'm not sure how or when it started, Dave, but it's just been again for me. It's just a fun way to connect. And I guess if we talk about love languages, surprise and I guess delight is one of the things that I enjoy sharing, especially with kids, and the fact that any members of our Teach Better family love these voices too, that just makes it all the more worthwhile. So, but we know how strongly memory is tied to emotion. And so as a school leader and as a friend and a colleague, if I can tie a connection with me in a way that makes people feel lighthearted or look forward to reconnecting, that's what I want to do. So the character voices are just one way of doing that.
So let's create a new voice, okay? As opposed to mimicking. Mm-hmm. Funkle is going to be the new character. The Funkle.
Oh, I love it.
If the Funkle had a voice and had a cartoon centered around it, yeah. I can imagine he's wearing a beret of some sort, maybe even a Scottish kilt as well, and he's throwing around the Canadian Tire money, like making it rain all the time, right? The Funkle's got some swag about him, some Canadian swag. What would Funkle's voice be?
Wow, Dave, I do not know what the Funkle might sound like. I do not know. I'm not sure. He sounds like a bit of a strong personality. You know what that means? Funkle? I do not know. I do not know whether he might be the English or the French, or he might be a little bit Scottish. I don't know, Dave. I don't know what would happen.
Oh, it sounds like Mike Myers trying to do like one of Austin Powers characters.
And so I mean, Mike Myers, of course, a beloved Canadian treasure, Canadian icon, and Mike Myers is working on a new film production right now, and I think he's playing 4 or 5 different characters. Love me some Mike Myers. So,
all right, favorite Canadian, other than Brad Hughes and Liv Chan and Shane Pav, all the favorite Canadian.
My favorite Canadian?
Yeah.
Terry Fox. You might know about Terry. Terry lost his life to cancer, but before he did so, he had lost a leg and determined to run across Canada, like effectively doing a marathon a day from our East Coast until he lost his life around Thunder Bay. And so when I was a kid, Terry Fox was my hero and idol, and I remember following Terry's journey day by day. I still remember when Terry lost his life, clipping a tribute picture of Terry from the newspaper on my bulletin board in my room. So Terry Fox is absolutely my Canadian hero and idol, and I think that so many of us, have either been personally affected or know family members or friends that have been affected by cancer. So Terry's journey and Terry Fox runs happen annually here in Canada, and I believe they happen worldwide as well. So Terry Fox's family continues to take on that legacy, but he's absolutely my favorite Canadian.
I love how you didn't miss a beat. I said favorite Canadian, you're like, boom, I got this.
Yep.
And know people, if Brad has a favorite Canadian, we all know how amazing all Canadians are, the most polite, respectful people on the planet. Brad Hughes being at the very top of that list. And if he's got a favorite, this person is truly on a whole nother level. So that's awesome. All right, Brad, I'm looking at the clock right now and I'm getting all the warning lights flashing and beeping, warning me that it's just about time for us to get the hook here. So on my podcast, I always tell people to give me their mic drop moment at the end of the podcast. I want to know that thing that you want people to hold on to and latch onto. Imagine that we're doing the Good News, Brad News right now, and this is your podcast, and you get the opportunity to leave people with some parting thoughts here. Brad Hughes from the great white cold north. Leave us with some wisdom here, whether it's a mic drop moment or just some good news, Brad News. What do you want us to walk away from our time with you right now?
What I'd say, Dave, is it continues to be all about the relationships. Relationships and connection are everything. If we take a look at the journey of the past year, as we've led, taught, lived, survived a pandemic, our hearts and minds also reach out to others in different parts of the world that have been and continue to be tremendously affected and impacted. So it makes me even more grateful if I take a look at the past 60 minutes and I take a look at the incredible people who are here in our comment and chat stream. It's all about those relationships. And so I know that relationships are both tremendously restorative and protective. And so I just encourage everyone to reflect on with gratitude the incredible people that are in your life, whether they're in your household or in your workplace, or I just can't express my gratitude for the incredible friendships and support that I've developed through Teach Better Team. So my mic drop moment is you matter. You matter to others probably more than you realize. And so that, should give you tremendous confidence and a tremendous opportunity to continue to stay connected with your loved ones. And the other thing that's really been resonating me was something that Lindsay Titus has been sharing in the past little while. And that's an opportunity as we look ahead to the summertime. Some of us have left work and some of us will be, leaving work. And looking at summertime as an opportunity, not necessarily to recover, and that would certainly be understandable if that's your mindset, but as an opportunity to discover. And what I tell my staff is make sure you set aside time to reconnect with the people and the places and the pastimes that bring you joy. And that way you're in charge of how your summer looks and you're returning to the most incredible profession in the world, restored as fully as you can, knowing that you matter and that there's always going to be a Teach Better family that has your back.
Love it. I love the fact that you used a Lindsay Titus quote in there. Born a Canadian, we stole her here in the States. So well done. Way to make that connection. Brad, you're a rock star. I appreciate you. Teach Better family, I need you to do me one thing, though, before we sign off here, before the fun music plays. I need you to send Jeff Gargas a DM. Let him know that Brad Hughes is way better than he is. Let him know that he can just stay in Florida off the grid as long as he needs to. That Brad Hughes is not just a replacement, he is an upgrade. So send Jeff Gargas that message.
Crazy.
Let him know let him know that he's missed. Do all those fun things. He's spending time with his family, all that. But Brad, I appreciate you, man. We need to do this again very, very soon. I know you provided me laughter that I'm going to go back and watch this and listen to it again with my kids around so they can hear a lot of this too and just enjoy it. But I appreciate you, man. You are truly one of my heroes in life. And I appreciate you finding an hour out of your time to hang out with me and entertain the masses here.
I love and appreciate you so much. And I can't, again, I'm so grateful for our Teach Better family and for the opportunity that you provided me to be here with you today.
Awesome. So Teach Better family, a couple of things. Here's your announcements and plugs before the music starts. Teach Better chat tomorrow night. You get it. New format, half hour, boom, boom, boom. You're in and out with a little recap afterwards. Also, there was an email sent out today by Ray Hewitt with a very important announcement about something taking place on July 14th. So go back and check your emails. And if for some reason it's going to your spam, fix that. Nothing from Ray Hewitt needs to be going to spam. Fix it so it goes right to the top of your list. But check it out. Super special announcement. Something happening on July 14th. So check out all those things. Follow this man if you want more laughs, you want more inspiration. Brad Hughes. It's at Brad_Hughes. I think that's how it's spelled, whether you're in the States or in Canada. I think it's the same letters. Yep. Add some extra U's if you really want to, if you really want to make it make sense. So awesome. Go enjoy the rest of your night, though, everybody. Relax, get outside, find a way to unwind, and just take a break because you deserve it.